What's going on, you guys? AJ Tucker here with AJ Self Defense, and today I want to talk about a stalking situation that happened to one of the biggest names in basketball, Caitlin Clark. She's basically global now, and so she's a baller, she's a hooper, and she's probably the face of the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? So she has a stalker, man from Texas. He was sending her creepy messages. She's in Indiana, and he kept sending messages to her like, "Hey, I'm by your house. I'm riding by your house. I'm doing this. I'm going to do this to you." And the police even went to him and was like, "Hey, man, what the hell's going on?" And he was like, "Oh, it's just a fantasy thing. It's just a fantasy. No big deal." And then he kept stalking her even after. And so when they saw his IP address in Indiana, where she is, they was like, "No, we got to get this fool." So they arrested him. He's facing felony charges and all that good stuff. But I wanted to talk about it. And I mean, if you want more on the story, you can just type in Caitlin Clark stalked and you will find the official news story. The reason why I want to talk about it because stalking is very hard to deal with. It's very difficult to stop. And I know there's a lot of social media influencers out there, especially females. The more you post, the more followers you get. The more you reveal, the more you share, the more money you can make. And you get the fame, you get the fans, you get the followers, but you also get the stalkers and you get the creeps. And, people thought that Caitlin Clark was just kind of like hooping and everybody loved her and she was getting all this support. But there's also a lot of haters coming at her, you know what I'm saying? But then there's also the stalkers. And normally what people do on social media when they have a stalker, they try to air it out, or they try to combat it online, and kind of, sometimes that may work or sometimes that makes it worse. But it seems like what Caitlin Clark was doing, she was just dealing with this stuff behind the scenes. And I'm sure this is not her first stalker. I mean, she even had, she was at a basketball interview and she even had a guy getting creepy with her when he was asking questions and he had to get checked. I think he even got fired. But she dealt with it behind the scenes. So the fact that she wasn't airing it out publicly doesn't mean that she's living this like perfect life. She lives a very private life and is mainly focusing on basketball and golf whenever she posts. She don't really post her whereabouts and stuff like that. So if you do have a stalker, it may not be best to try to deal with it directly, but make sure you keep the receipts and make sure you report that stuff, because you don't want anybody driving by your house. If you get a stupid stalker saying they're doing all that, then you have to report it and you have to keep receipts and you have to stay on it. Stalking is illegal, even though it's very hard to stop and it's very hard to track. Hope this helps somebody in the situation, man. Comment in the thread below if you have something to add to this story, or if you have any stalking situations that happened to you and how you dealt with it. That's all I got for this one. I'll see you on the next one.